The K-San Cares Food Drive, sponsored by Brown Honda.
Hey, Concho Valley, I'm Haleigh Hinojosa, and we're out here at the Food King for our K-San Cares Summer Food Drive, and we are here with Mr. Brent Jenkins with the Concho Valley Regional Food Bank. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm wonderful. It's great to be out here on a beautiful day.
Well, we're happy that you're here. So can you just tell us about this food drive and what it means that we are out here collecting these donations?
It is so meaningful for us, and we're so grateful for K-San to doing this every year. Much needed food for the 13 counties and all the agencies that serve people and our hungry neighbors in the Concho Valley. I'm just wonderful, and I'm so grateful.
Well, Concho Valley, we will be out here at this Food King until 5 o'clock, so you have plenty of opportunities to come out here and see us. If you can't make it out to the Food King, you can come find us at Market Street. Again, we'll be out there until 5 o'clock accepting your donations, and we look forward to seeing you and collecting your donations.
The K-San Cares Food Drive, sponsored by Brown Honda.
Don Pearson being a part of this Permian Basin honor flight mission was eye-opening, as it was for many others on board. He served in the Navy from 1962 to 1966. He said that his whole family was Navy and he only ever knew about the Navy. It was on this trip he was able to learn more about the other branches of the military and gain a better appreciation for their work and sacrifices.
It gave me some knowledge I didn't have before.
While in the Navy, Pearson worked as the section leader of an air terminal.
Planes going from the United States, for instance, to Vietnam, the SEAL teams, things like that would stop in our terminal.
He also said some days his orders were different than others.
And a lot of times I had a permanent set of TDY orders. And a lot of times if a crew member got sick or something, they'd go in and say, "Hey, Pearson, get on the plane."
Once on the plane, he said he never knew where they would end up. He certainly never thought that one day getting on that plane, he would end up in Vietnam. He said seeing the Vietnam Wall and the other memorials reminded him of a lot of sleepless nights and the heartache of how he was treated returning home from war. It was a group of kids that approached these unsung heroes at the Vietnam Wall that changed Don Pearson's life and the other veterans' lives forever.
We went to one memorial, and as we went through it, there were, I'd say, probably 200 to 300 school children all going, "Thank you for your service," waving. A lot of us didn't get that when we came home. See 200 and 300 little kids all standing there waiting, wanting to touch you, wanting to shake your hand. Yeah, that's pretty tear-jerking.
Those kids have no idea how much that interaction meant to these veterans. Pearson said he can never thank them and the honor flight system enough for providing healing to a wound he never thought would be mended.
Honor flight coverage is sponsored by Shannon.
Firefighters are responsible and in charge of a lot of things, but this firefighter decided that he could do more and created a seamless gutter business called the Gutter Guys.
Group of firefighters that do gutters. There's a total of 6 of us. We're all firefighters. We are employed full-time here in the city of San Angelo throughout different, stations.
Mayorga says that he has been a firefighter for almost 15 years and a gutter guy for about 2. The other guys that work with him have as much as 12 years of firefighting experience under their belt. They saw a need and decided it would be them that would step up to the gutter and fill the time that they were not working, serving the city in other ways.
Well, I think it comes down to we all like to serve. That's why we're all firefighters. We like to serve the public. Decided and saw a need for San Angelo to have another seamless gutter company that we do gutters, cleaning, repairs, leaf filters, all that good stuff.
Mayorga says that the support they have received from the San Angelo community is more than they could have asked for and are always looking forward to welcoming new clients to provide their specialty brand of firefighter customer service to. He says that above everything else, providing services that this community needs is what matters the most to him and his crew.
Not only do we carry the firefighter badge, but we're providing a service that is extremely important for people's houses. Many of the foundation issues that people have can be improved with gutters. We don't see a lot of rain here in San Angelo, but it doesn't mean that we don't get any. So for me, it's really important to provide a good service. That's something that people really need here in Angelo.
Haleigh Hinojosa, K-SAN News. There are plenty of options when it comes to restaurants that serve Tex-Mex food. The real challenge comes in finding ways to serve something that not everyone has, and that's a challenge restaurant owner Francisco Ocampo decided to take on after moving here from Mexico City. Here's more on his story and how he has built a legacy for his family. Here in San Angelo, one family has been serving the community Tex-Mex dishes with an authentic Mexican twist for over 2 decades. This is Francisco Ocampo, originally from Mexico City. He says he got his start in the restaurant industry by bussing tables. Now he's going on more than 30 years of being an owner of his own restaurant, Casa Ocampo.
Mine, all the time, I want to grow up. I want something do different. I don't want to bussing tables because when I start bussing tables. So I say I don't want to stay all my life bussing tables. So I figured out, I want something different.
Ocampo says that everything he does now, he learned from a restaurant he worked in for 8 years back in Mexico City. He says that the owner pushed him to learn all the aspects of the business, from cleaning to food preparation to the presentation.
For one restaurant for 8 years, and I learned everything and the kitchen and the service and how you had to run the restaurant.
He says that once he was ready, he moved to San Angelo and decided to try his hand at running his own restaurant with his wife. Eventually, he says his family started to grow, and that's when he realized everything he and his wife had built, he wanted to be able to pass down to his kids.
When I got the opportunity to get this restaurant, they say, okay, you know what, this time to get something for my family.
Ocampo wanted to create a restaurant and a menu that would set his kids up for success once they took over the family business one day. Here at Casa Ocampo, there's something for everybody, whether it's traditional Tex-Mex food or American food. The dishes he creates are what he says makes things unique. He says he's able to take these Tex-Mex dishes and add in traditional Mexican flavors that he grew up making.
A long time ago, I like it, making the green salsa in Mexico. So I say, you know what, Mexico, I like it, it's the green salsa. When I come over here and I say, you know what, let me put the green enchiladas with my sauce.
Ocampo says that there have been plenty of challenges in creating something unique and something that would keep people coming back. But now, finally having his own place where he can figure those things out is an indescribable feeling.
For me, that's amazing, something I can explain it to you, because this feel like inside to, everything, little things I put, in the restaurant, and the people say, where you come from, Mexico? You give me this one from Mexico? Yeah, because I wanted to put little bit things to the people see this Mexico is nice.
From Mexico City to San Angelo, Ocampo has turned his passion into a legacy, one plate at a time. Alrighty, thank you, Chase. Severe storms overnight have been blamed for several deaths in the Midwest and Deep South. The weather spawned tornadoes, strong winds, and heavy rains. Buildings collapsed or were flattened entirely, and roads flooded, and power was knocked out to hundreds of thousands of customers. NBC's Dan Shinneman reports. The first rodeo performance of the year is officially in the books. Before you head to the next performance, Sergeant Bellini with the San Angelo Police Department is offering some safety reminders. Give yourself plenty of travel time while also remaining weather aware, and always have a safe plan to get home. Sergeant Bellini also says that traffic will be congested heading to the Coliseum due to ongoing road work. A special prosecutor was in town for a civil commitment trial to commit a man with a history of sexual violence to a center for sex offender treatment. 68-year-old Raul Dominguez has a lengthy history of sexual violence, including aggravated sexual assault of a disabled person back in 2010. The jury today found Dominguez likely to reoffend, and instead of allowing him to be free after his sentence, he will be placed in a secured location to receive treatment. The U.S. Army's all-black regiment, known as the Buffalo Soldiers, were stationed at Fort Concho and were vital pieces in American history, helping shape San Angelo into what we know today. I was able to learn more about these men and visit the memorial that was built in their honor. The Buffalo Soldiers are a group of men that many may not know about, or about the contributions they made to American history. Shirley Spears, former NAACP president, says the black regiment known as the Buffalo Soldiers were vital in westward expansion.
And the purpose of having this black regimental group established west of the Mississippi was so that they could help clear the country westward so that people could have more expansion as they moved across the country.
The Buffalo Soldiers nickname was coined by the Native Americans due to these men's toughness and curly hair that resembled that of a buffalo.
But it was a term that they used because they had established a relationship when they were not in battle to show that they were in fact like a buffalo. They were so tough.
Spears says if it were not for these black regiments arriving to Fort Concho and serving there, we would not have been able to create the San Angelo we know today.
Without the Buffalo Soldiers, then of course we would not have been able to settle and create the San Angelo that we knew back then and that we still experience today.
It's because of this history, Spears says, she crafted the idea of a memorial honoring these soldiers.
And it took about 15 months, really, maybe a little longer, in terms of my vision and actually pouring it out into the community.
After several months of planning and raising funds, Spears was finally able to unveil the Buffalo Soldier Memorial in July of 2023, located across from Fort Concho at El Paseo de Santa Angela.
I felt that that was a perfect location after the idea came up, because it's right across the street from the fort. So that way, it almost looks like you're doing one step as you go to the memorial, and then you come over here and see the rest of the living history.
Spears says that this memorial was built as one way to ensure that everyone who comes through the fort into the memorial, especially younger adults and kids, see that they are represented in American history.
Representation matters. When you look at young people, young adults, or even young kids, it's important for them to see themselves as part of the American fabric. And if you only show them one side of it, you're being unfair.
The Buffalo Soldier Memorial is free to visit, and the pillars also feature QR codes so that you can scan to allow access to more information. Brian, I mean, I feel like for a lot of people, it's a pretty exciting night to see. Well, actually, really today has just been a pretty stacked lineup with MLK Day, the inauguration, then tonight to finish off the day, the national championship.
And we just finished off the divisional round of the playoffs. So, I mean, the last 48 to 72 hours have been crazy. And then, like you said, the national championship game tonight, 20 games of basketball tomorrow night. I mean, it just doesn't end over here, it seems like.
It
absolutely
definitely
love
doesn't.
it.
And Chase, I mean, we got to say it. Brian was telling us earlier tomorrow that he's got to be outside. You know, bless his heart, he's got to be outside. So let him know what kind of weather he's going to be getting himself into.
I think this is number.
Our crisis intervention division is a neat aspect to law enforcement. Many people don't know about it, but it's a key component for the deputies and the SAPD.
Lieutenant Williams with the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office Crisis Intervention Unit says their division is looking for more volunteers. And like he said, it is a unique component to law enforcement that you could be a volunteer for. This division assists sheriff's deputies and SAPD officers on certain callouts and other duties.
The kind of calls that we respond to, they respond to stalking calls, family violence, terroristic threats, harassment calls, sexual assaults, child and elderly abuse calls that they respond to and provide assistance for them for emergency protective orders.
Lieutenant Williams says they are searching for more volunteers as the call volume for this year is steadily increasing. More volunteers allows for more calls the unit can assist in responding to.
Last year, we only had 463 victims that we responded to calls for service, and we provided services for them. And at the rate we're going right now, the call volume is kind of going up, so we're probably going to surpass that amount from last year's.
To be a volunteer, Lieutenant Williams says that you have to be 18 years or older and fill out the application online. From there, the unit supervisors will conduct interviews and background checks. If selected to join the unit, Lieutenant Williams says that training is provided.
CIU supervisors, they have an in-house training they do, but before you're released, you do basically side by side, you shadow them for over a month's time before that you're actually released on your own.
For more information on the unit or to access the application, you can visit CIUcares.com. For News Connection, I'm Haleigh Hinojosa.